Hi guys, so I wanted to do a video about sibling spacing and the best age gap to have your children apart. So first up, I wanted to say that there is no best age gap for children and to have children apart. It is completely family dependent, situation dependent, emotionally, financially. There's a lot of factors that come into it. So for us, we found 2.5 years. Perfect age gap for our girls. Now my girls are 8 months and 3 years old at the moment. My youngest isn't quite crawling yet, but she's getting a bit old. So we're just at the beginning of our journey of this age gap, really, in the grand scheme of things. So 2.5 years for us was great because I was finished breastfeeding. My body had enough time to heal. I was emotionally a lot more ready. We found it very hard with my first child, and we went to sleep school to get help very early on. She was a very demanding and clingy baby, so she was not as clingy by the time my second daughter came. She was still napping. She is still napping. So that's a bonus because I have been able to coincide both their naps, or my daughter's afternoon nap, with my second child's nap in the afternoon. She has been able to help out a whole bunch more. Sometimes she thinks she's helping and she's not quite, but she's interested in the baby, and she's not jealous either. Again, that might be different for other people that have that 2 to 3 year age gap. And she's sleeping through the night, and I was able to get back to work, which was very handy in between children. Also in Australia, to qualify for the paid parental leave as well, getting back to work, that has helped our family financially. There are some cons. My daughter was not potty trained or toilet trained before my second daughter came along. So that was a downfall, and so they were both still in nappies. But I found a lot of pros for having that 2 to 3 year age gap. Going on the other spectrum with them closer in age, under 2 years or 2 years and under, they can be closer in friendship and have the same sort of friends, same sort of interests, because they are the same age and stage, or similar age and stage. They also don't know any different because they've always, they were too young to know any different when their second or sibling came along. And they're still napping, so you still get that break that you need if you can coincide their naps. And you're still in baby mode. You're still, used to all the younger stuff. Cons are it can be very exhausting because you have two that are very at a demanding age. Your older one might be clingy because a very clingy period is sort of between 9 months and 2 years, depending upon the child. There can be no hand-me-downs because if you've got the same sex kids, because in the beginning there can be hand-me-downs because in the first year the sizes of clothes is quite different, but as they get that little bit older, they might still be in the same sizes, so you might find that you have to double up. If you have 2 girls or 2 boys, you're still having to buy 2 lots of clothes because the older child's not out of the clothes when the younger one needs them. There's also other health risks that are proven, which is low birth weight and preterm birth if you have your children closer together. And the mum's health. Sometimes the mothers, the stomach muscles don't get a chance to go back in the way they were. They don't get a chance to heal. Pelvic floor doesn't get the same time and chance to heal. And breastfeeding can be an issue. It's not impossible, but some mothers find that they dry up and they don't get to breastfeed as long, their first child or the child before. And it can be very draining to breastfeed, so you don't get your body doesn't get a chance to restore or replenish its nutrients. Okay, so that's the pros and cons for a 2 to 3 year age gap, and then, as I was just talking about, the closer age gap, sort of 2 years and under. So on the other end, 4 years and over, you've got hand-me-down clothes if you've got the same age kids, hand-me-down, cot, you haven't got two in cot at the same time, sort of the furniture that you need for babies, you've still got, well, hopefully you haven't sold it, and more one-on-one time. That's a thing that I found I had with a 2.5 year gap. I did have quite a lot of one-on-one time with my daughter before the next one came along. But, the older the child, the longer you get one-on-one with that child and the next child, unless you have another one and have them close. And what else was there? They understand a lot more, but they also might get a bit more jealous because they do understand a lot more. So that can be a pro and a con. No need for a double pram with usually no need for a double pram or upgrading stuff with a 4 year gap or more. The cons are going back to sleepless nights and nappies and all the baby stuff. You might find it hard to go, a bit of a shock to go from a preschooler back to that. And also the children, I haven't really got the same interest when, say, they're under 8 years old. You might have a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old. Sometimes it's hard to find the same sort of family outings that interest both kids. So while researching age spacing, I came across Dr. Weston Price, and he had a dental clinic in the 30s or 40s, and he had children coming in with tooth decay and overcrowding and not enough room for the wisdom teeth. So thanks to the camera, during that time he's seen pictures from around the world, third world countries, where tribes of children had big, beautiful smiles, and there wasn't overcrowding, their teeth looked healthy, and normal palate. And he was curious as to why this was happening. He thought it was because of their more of a plant-based diet, but when he travelled over there to find out, he discovered that they had a diet higher in fat-soluble vitamins and higher in calcium, and most importantly, these tribes would purposely space their children 3 years apart, and that is also another pro to spacing your children further apart, more than 2 years. The health of the mother and the baby, or the next baby, the mother's health is better for the next baby and for the next baby to form. So again, I know there's things like infertility that come into play, so you don't know if you're going to be blessed with another child or not. So you might try as soon as possible and end up with a close age gap. So yeah, there's lots of pros and cons, as I've been saying, and for us, we've found with a 2.5 year gap, best of both worlds. Not too young, but not too old that they're not interested, or she's not interested in her sister. So anyway, as I was saying, I'd love to hear from anyone that has experience with their different kids and different age gaps, because I find it a very interesting topic. And I know it's something that's talked a lot in mother circles, like, oh, you're going to have another child. How have you found having your kids closer together? So, yeah. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. And, yeah, leave any comments below if you like. Thanks. Bye.